Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
South Africa's prophet Shepherd Bushiri arrested at New York JFK Airport for drug trafficking. South Africa-based Malayan prophet Shepherd Bushiri of Enlightened Christian Gathering was on Friday morning arrested at the John F. Kennedy Airport on suspicion of drug trafficking. Bushiri, who has been released on a $100,000 bail, would be assisting the New York police in investigating a 10 kg cocaine found on the baggage carousel. Grace Mugabe's son involved in accident in Botswana, all three supercars badly damaged. Grace Mugabe's cars, which were being driven by her son Russell and associates, have been involved in some form of accident in Botswana. The incident occurred near Artesia on the A1 road around 10 p.m. yesterday, Friday. All the cars, Rolls-Royce, Range Rover and Porsche, which were yesterday morning reportedly battling with customs to enter Botswana from Zimbabwe en route to South Africa, are badly damaged, but the drivers escaped unscathed. This is a developing story. New twist on Grace Mugabe's son who got arrested at the border, affidavit signed by Grace leaks. Grace Mugabe's son Russell Gorzaza attempted to cross the Zimbabwean border into Botswana with three luxury vehicles, a Porsche, Rolls-Royce and his mother's Range Rover, this afternoon. This resulted in the police reportedly blocking Gorzaza and allegedly impounding the vehicles at Plumtree border post. Gorzaza produced an affidavit written by Grace Mugabe citing that she had granted him permission to travel with the vehicles to South Africa and Botswana. This comes as a surprise move considering how the first family used to cut through the red tape and their tenants. Grace Mugabe's son Gorzaza detained for 7 hours at Plumtree border post. First Lady Mrs. Grace Mugabe's son Russell Gorzaza was yesterday detained for hours at the Plumtree border post before driving into Botswana on transit to South Africa with three luxury vehicles. Sources said customs officials suspected Gorzaza, who was in the company of Tinashe Munetsi and other unidentified people, was using the top of the range vehicles to smuggle cash and other valuables out of the country. The sources said Gorzaza, Munetsi and his team spent almost 7 hours at the entry point as they were subjected to questioning and thorough searches. The three cars, a Rolls-Royce, a Porsche and a Range Rover, were thoroughly searched and scanned. Gorzaza and his companions were questioned for close to 7 hours, said a source at the border. The Range Rover, with personalized plates, and the Porsche with South African registration numbers reportedly belonged to Mrs. Mugabe, while the Rolls-Royce, also with personalized plates, belongs to Gorzaza. Police, ZIMBABWE and immigration officials declined to comment yesterday, saying they didn't have information on the incident. Gorzaza had papers for the cars, including affidavits giving him and Munetsi permission to drive Mrs. Mugabe's cars. He maintained he was taking the cars to South Africa for servicing, said another source. The sources said suspicion arose because Gorzaza opted to go through Botswana instead of going to South Africa directly through Beitbridge border post. They arrived at the Plumtree border post at 8 a.m. and only left around 3 p.m. as authorities tried to verify with the military intelligence if the cars were genuinely being taken to South Africa for service. One of the cars has a temporary import permit that was expiring today. Mrs. Mugabe was also contacted to verify a number of issues before the cars were taken through a scan for thorough searches, said a source at the border post. They were cleared to cross into Botswana, and at about 5 p.m. yesterday they were seen at Nando's in Francistown. Yesterday's incident comes in the wake of government rounding up top officials wanted for corruption. Mrs. Mugabe is well known for her expensive test which earned her the nickname Gucci Grace. Goraza has been in the public light for a number of controversies, which include allegedly grabbing mines and immovable properties. In September last year, he reportedly spent $70 million, approximately $5.3 million on a Rolls-Royce Ghost, 4-door, and a Rolls-Royce Dawn convertible. He was criticized by many in and out of the country for his flagrant display of wealth when the country was suffering from massive shortages of cash. Top business good news network CNBC Africa salutes Prophet Bushiri for boosting tourism. Africa's top and renowned business good news network, CNBC Africa, has described Prophet Shepherd Bushiri's successful crossover night as a boost for local tourism in South Africa. CNBC Africa is Africa's first and most powerful business media brand, available on DSTV Channel 410, StarTimes Channel 309. Canal Plus 169 and Quiz TV 736, which reaches decision-makers, CEOs, policymakers and entrepreneurs across the continent in over 100 countries. The author of the article, Anathi Hinema, a lecturer at Tshwane University of Technology, has since called on South Africans to celebrate Prophet Bushiri for enabling religious tourism, which is benefiting their country. At least 150,000 people attended the 2017-18 crossover night at FNB Stadium, arguably the largest crowd so far. By filling up the stadium, Hinema argues that Prophet Bushiri is, therefore, the pioneer of #Fill-Up. The event will continue to gain momentum and diversify the crossover menu for people to choose from. By filling up the FNB Stadium, Bushiri moves right up there with music stars, sports cup finals, and the recent #Fill-Up hosted by Casper Nyovest, he said. Hinema also explored how the growth of Prophet Bushiri's church is changing the tourism face of God province. This is where Johannesburg and Pretoria are located. He writes, Prophet Bushiri is constructing a megachurch in Midrand. The church already holds its main service at the showgrounds in Pretoria West. The church service in Pretoria attracts thousands of congregants from near and far, domestically and internationally. Hinema noted that the growth of Prophet Bushiri's church is profound, considering that God is not a traditional holidays destination, as the province experiences the greater outmigration as people who travel to the sea and the rural hinterlands along the century-old migrant labor system. This crossover service, by occurring in Soweto, ensured that it disperses financial expenditure to the township tourism economy, ensuring that the residents of Soweto become the leading beneficiaries of the event. The 5 different sectors of the tourism economy, which includes accommodation, food and beverage services, recreation and entertainment, transportation and travel services, have benefited from the crossover service, he writes. Hinema further notes that the sheer number of attendees is a perfect selling and marketing platform, especially for the financial services sector and for the tourism products in GOT. Tourism is the new gold and it has the potential to diversify the economy of a region. Mining has long lost its shine, as it continues to shed jobs, he says. Tourism continues to become the economic messiah for the economy. In 2016, South Africa received a 13% year-on-year growth in international tourism arrivals. This occurs when the country won't even get 1% economic growth. Religious tourism is a form of special interest tourism that has huge potential for destination South Africa. Hinema notes that the recent announcement of Jerusalem as the new home for the American Embassy has meant that Jerusalem may suffer a decrease in religious tourists. This must be exploited for destination South Africa, especially trying to lure Muslim tourists, who increasingly shun Muslim-unfriendly destinations, he advises. Across the world, religious tourism is becoming a big boost to local economies. In Nigeria, for instance, Prophet TB Joshua remains a popular evangelist that benefits the Nigerian economy disproportionately. Studies indicate that 8 out of 10 tourists that arrive in Nigeria at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Nigeria are headed for the Synagogue Church of All Nations, SCOAN. With joblessness being a big threat to freedom in South Africa, tourism remains a key sector that has the ability to create labor-intensive jobs and opportunities for entrepreneurship, especially for small businesses. HEMA, then, advises South Africa tourism authorities to embrace religious tourism as it is a key sector of the tourism economy that benefits black businesses, as religiously motivated travel is dominated by blacks. Transforming the tourism economy remains a dream deferred, and religious tourism has the potential to bring the realization of that dream much closer. Prophet Bushiri has been an enabler of religious tourism and must, therefore, be celebrated for benefiting South Africa's tourism economy, he says. Police in Zimbabwe arrest American citizen over anti-Mugabe tweet. In a tweet, the Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights, ZLHR, group said Mzo Donovan, the manager of Magamba TV, an online-based satirical video outlet, was the first person to be arrested on such grounds since the cyber ministry was formed. Police arrested Mzo Donovan during a morning raid at her home in Harare, seizing electronic devices, including computers and a phone. Police is yet to charge her, but they alleged that tweets emanating from her IT address are insulting to the president, referring to some tweets sent from Mzo Donovan's account which referred to a goblin, whose stepson recently bought a Rolls-Royce, but said that Mr. Mugabe was not mentioned. Zimbabwe does not yet have a cybercrime law, so if O'Donovan is charged it is likely to be under the presidential insult law. No hard feelings against Mugabe. President Emmerson Mnangagwa yesterday said he had no hard feelings against former President Robert Mugabe, as he believes most decisions he took during his last days in power were not of his own making but instead influenced by G40 criminals who took advantage of his advanced age. Mnangagwa claimed that he was in constant touch with the former leader. The new president made the revelations during a town hall meeting with youths in Harare. The dialogue was organized by Global Shapers Community, a network of young people driving dialogue, action and change. Asked by interviewer Vimbai KGs about his relationship with Mugabe, President Mnangagwa said, "I am here because for the last 54 years he was holding my hand. To me he is my father, mentor, icon, revolutionary leader, but time comes when he gets influenced because, I believe, of age." Somebody described people who surrounded him as criminals. So, I do not believe that some of the actions made at the 11th hour were genuinely his own. President Mnangagwa said to vindicate that criminals had circled Mugabe. The former leader seemed not to recall that he had fired him as vice president. He said Mugabe pleaded with him to return direct to State House when he told him that he had fled to South Africa fearing for his life. "I realized that things were not what I used to know," President Mnangagwa said. "As a result of that, I have no ill feelings at all towards former President Mugabe. I chat with him." President Mnangagwa said instead of getting worried, he felt pity for those who attacked him during the presidential youth interface rallies. "Of the 9 rallies, we began in Mashonaland East," he said, responding to how he felt during the rallies. "As we went on, it became slightly harder, slightly troublesome, and as we went on it became very worrying. I really thought that those who were making accusations on me or some of my colleagues like George Shremba were ignorant of who I was and who Shremba was. They also had a perception created outside our actual persons and they misunderstood us. If a person misunderstands, you pity him. You do not get worried. So, I was not worried, because I was misunderstood." Mnangagwa said he had since put behind the past and was focusing on unity and development. In my inauguration speech, I spoke about reconciliation, he said. I spoke about bygones being bygones, meaning there is nothing we can do about the past. Those things have happened. The acts of omission and commission which happened in the past, yes, in some areas we get to learn lessons from what has happened, but let us put that behind us because we will not live it again. My message as we go forward is let us preach love, love, unity, unity always. And Gagan added, we are all Zimbabweans, let us accept each other. I believe that every single Zimbabwean, young or old, rich or poor, tall or short, blind or with eyesight has a role to play and is an important person to bring our nation forward. My appeal is let us look into the future, that is the only space we can improve. The dialogue meeting was attended by Vice Presidents Constantino Chiwenga and Kembo Mohadi, Cabinet Ministers, Chief Secretary to the President and Cabinet Dr. Misuksa Banda and other senior government officials. What is in Uzalo's Monsuza and Smangel's funeral pamphlet? The day draws ever closer. Uzalo's beloved characters, Monsuza, Lalatai Kumalo, and Smangel, Sindaba, who were both recently killed, will soon get their on-screen send-off and it will surely be a day to remember. Drum went behind the scenes and got a sneak peek at the funeral pamphlet for the two characters. The program includes a collection of hymns for Monsuza, No Tears in Heaven, Lord of All Being, and Day is Past and Gone. The day is past and gone, the evening shades appear. Oh, may we all remember well, the night of death draws near. The last hymn is read as both Smangel and Monsuza are laid to rest. Fans can catch the funeral episode on 16 February on Sabquan. Fake article that Bushiri arrested in U.S. for smuggling cocaine. False article published that Malayan prophet Shepherd Bushiri has been arrested in JFK Airport in New York on suspicion of drug trafficking and possession. The false news claimed that according to Fox News, 10 kilograms of cocaine was reportedly found on the baggage carousel on the pastor's flight from Johannesburg to New York. The bag containing the cocaine, which reportedly costs $1.5 million in street market value, was checked in from Johannesburg and is identical to a bag carried by the prophet. Bushiri, who is known for his extravagant lifestyle, has reportedly been released on $100,000 bail, and while his fingerprints were not found on the cocaine, immediate forensic tests have proved his connection. R.I.P. former Bophuthatswana leader Lucas Manyane Mangope dies. Former Bophuthatswana leader Lucas Manyane Mangope has died, it emerged on Thursday. This is according to South African Broadcasting Corporation, SABC, which broke the news on Thursday night. Mangope was the president of Bophuthatswana, one of the apartheid-era homelands or Bantustans to which black South Africans were confined. He was also the former leader of United Christian Democratic Party, UCDP, a party he also founded. It remains unclear what the cause of death is at this stage. Tributes began pouring in on social media following news of the former leader's death. Many users took to Twitter to remember Mangope and passed their condolences to his family and friends. Singer Buzzizuwa pregnant with Oskido's triplets. Meet singer Buzzizuwa's baby daddy, Bye. The singer announced close to end of 2017 that was expecting her first children's. She has since given birth a few days ago. Despite being open and sharing her pregnancy news with fans, Buzzizuwa had kept the identity of the father's child to herself, until now. The singer tagged the baby daddy in one of the baby photos on Instagram. Sibong Almani, who accidentally received R14. 1 meter apply for NSFAS in 2018. Sibong Almani, who accidentally received 14.1 million from NSFAS to her student account and went on a wild spending spree, now apply for student funding at NSFAS. Sibong Al, now a third-year accountancy student at WSU, situated in the Eastern Cape, who mistakenly received R14. 1 meter in June 2017 from the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, NSFAS, instead of the monthly or 1,400 she was entitled to for meals and books. Sibong Almani is awaiting approval from NSFAS, and friend close to her revealed to Mzansi Stories that Sibong Al has been panicking so hard because she doesn't believe NSFAS will be able to assist her to finish her third level at varsity. When we tried to call Sibong Almani for more details, her phone took us straight to voicemail. Prophet Shepherd Bushiri arrested in U.S. for smuggling cocaine. Malaysian Prophet Shepherd Bushiri has been arrested in JFK Airport in New York on suspicion of drug trafficking and possession. According to Fox News, 10 kilograms of cocaine was reportedly found on the baggage carousel on the pastor's flight from Johannesburg to New York. The bag containing the cocaine, which reportedly costs $1.5 million in street market value, was checked in from Johannesburg and is identical to a bag carried by the prophet. Bushiri, who is known for his extravagant lifestyle, has reportedly been released on $100,000 bail, and while his fingerprints were not found on the cocaine, immediate forensic tests have proved his connection. Former Homeland leader Lucas Mangope dies. The 94-year-old Mangope formed and led the United Christian Democratic Party, UCDP, based in the Northwest Province, after he was ousted from his post as head of the former Botswana, one of many independent black homelands which only apartheid South Africa recognized, in 1994. The homeland now forms part of the Northwest. He had been accused of using police brutality to suppress protest. In 1988 he was reinstated by the apartheid government, following a failed coup led by Rocky Mobane Mitsing, leader of the People's Progressive Party, PPP. In 1993, ahead of the first democratic elections a year later, Mangope insisted Botswana would remain independent of the new and integrated South Africa and that he would not allow the elections to take place in his country, News 24 previously reported. He was removed from office by Foreign Minister Pick Boda and Transitional Executive Council, TEC, member Mac Maharaj in March, 1994. Mugabe aligned police commissioners relieved of duties. Several senior police officers who were allegedly aligned to former President Robert Mugabe have been reportedly relieved of their duties. Yet to be confirmed reports say the prominent figures in the Mugabe-led police administration under the guidance of former Commissioner General Augustine Chiri have been relieved of the duties. Among the axed officers are Deputy Commissioner Generals Sabanda, Madabiri and Shamber, Commissioners Bantu, Ntbel, Tanyana, Senior Assistant Commissioners Munyanga, Gumum, Chanjata, Masakasa, Lilo, May Nzanais, Shekanayuka, Mikadza and their effective mouthpiece Senior Assistant Commissioner Charity Tramba. The ZRP had become one of the most disliked and distrusted organizations in Zimbabwe under the tenure of long-serving former Commissioner General Augustine Chiri. In the aftermath of Operation Restore Legacy, the ZRP had to conduct joint patrols with members of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces as its officers were accused of corruption and extorting motorists through numerous roadblocks. More information is yet to follow on the changes taking place in the transformation of Zimbabwean police from force to service. A letter of retirement which was given to one of the commissioners and signed by Acting Commissioner General Goodwin Matanga reads, January 17, 2018. Commissioner_retirement from the Zimbabwe Republic Police in terms of Section 22(3) of the Police Act, Chapter 1110. This letter serves to advise you of your retirement from the Zimbabwe Republic Police in terms of Section 22 subsection 3 of the Police Act, Chapter 11 to 101 effective from midnight on the 19 inches of January 2018. You will be paid 3 months' salary in lieu of 3 months' notice of termination of service. The Acting Commissioner General of Police avails himself this opportunity to sincerely thank you for having diligently served the organization and the people of Zimbabwe. Wishing you and your family a pleasant retirement. Mathanga, Acting Commissioner General of Police. Latest on Wicknell Chiveo's controversial ZASA tender saga. The Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Mines and Energy is putting pressure on government to implement the moribund Gananda solar energy project with haste, throwing the spotlight on flamboyant businessman Wicknell Chiveo once more. Chiveo was awarded a $200 million tender to roll out the project which will feed into the national grid to ease the country's electricity woes. After consummating the power deal in October 2015, no meaningful progress has been achieved to bring the project to fruition. In fact, the project, which is expected to generate 100 megawatts of electricity, has been mired in controversy, amid accusations of underhand dealings between bureaucrats in former President Robert Mugabe's government and the burly businessman. Chiveo has consistently denied any wrongdoing. In a report presented in Parliament on Monday, the Portfolio Committee said the work that has been done on the energy project does not tally with the amount paid to the contractor. The committee is concerned to know that the work that has been done and the amount paid to the contractor does not tally, reads part of the report. To win back the people's confidence, it is recommended that the implementation of the project moves with speed so that tangible results are seen instead of continued reports that the project is still at the preparation stage of the project cycle. The committee further recommended that the Procurement Regulatory Authority Board should move with speed in coming up with a framework that will ensure that in future controversies that surround the Gwanda solar project do not occur again, such as the payment made in the absence of a performance bond. Chiveo has been staring down the barrel over the power deals which he signed with ZASA Holdings and its subsidiary, the Zimbabwe Power Company, ZPC. These deals have come under scrutiny after Intertrek apparently failed to deliver on them. ZPC senior management were recently arrested for advancing $5 million to Chiveo for this project's pre-commencement works, despite the fact that the businessman had not providing a performance guarantee as required by law. The performance guarantee acts as financial security and is supposed to be presented by the contractor before the commencement of works. It insulates the client in the event that the contractor fails to fulfill obligations set out in the contract. Apart from the Ghana project, Chiveo was also awarded a further $73 million for the refurbishment of the Harare Power Station, $163 million for the restoration of the Bunyadi Power Station, and $248 million for the Gerzi Power Project. An elite investigating unit, the National Economic Conduct Inspectorate, NECI, is currently digging into Chiveo's deals. NECI recently ordered him to submit his bank statements, contract documents and cash books as part of widening investigations into the ZIMBABWE deals. Chiveo's project has attracted a lot of attention, including from Member of Parliament. The situation was worsened by the media houses which provided conflicting statements regarding the project starters, noted the Portfolio Committee on Mines and Energy. Some of the reports have cited irregularities in the manner in which the tender was awarded and the payment of the initial $5 million paid to the contractor that is